Well, did you know that Long Island had a big role in the early days of our nation's aerospace industry, and the tradition is still continuing today?
Of course, Judah Goldberg introduced us to some of the men and women behind today's most sophisticated aircraft in tonight's Made on Long Island.
From World War II to the moon, Long Island historically is the home of dozens of military contractors, like Fairchild Republic and Grumman. Today, that tradition still exists.
I've been in it over, I can't even count the years. Long time.
Dan Shybunko has been manufacturing parts for the United States military for nearly half a century. The CEO of GSE Dynamics says the industry has changed a lot in that time.
Well, it's very male-oriented. I think there's a lot more small businesses involved with the aerospace industry.
The company manufactures out of 2 facilities in Hauppauge and employs 64 people. They average $15 to $20 million in sales annually. The passion for running a small business runs in the family. Dan's daughter, Ann, is president and owner of the company.
Woman-owned. How proud are you to be able to say that?
Honestly, it means a tremendous amount, but I always focus on, being woman-owned is wonderful, but without capability and quality and the ability to provide the parts to the Air Force, that's almost more important.
Many of the aircraft parts for the Air Force and Navy start as blocks of metal. Machines like these intricately cut the parts. Now, from start to finish, it takes about 3 hours. This will be the fitting on a Black Hawk helicopter.
It's about quality. This will be a glare shield for an E-2D. And these are the upper and lower domes for a Navy ship.
To be a defense contractor, you really got to believe in what you're doing and supporting the warfighter.
It's also about a sense of pride manufacturing on Long Island.
Now the push really is to make sure that we can continue the next generation and hire young people who have the skilled and training to manufacture structures for the military.
Brian Weixler served in the Marine Corps. He represents the next generation.
It feels good to be a part of what once was and now is the aviation sector of Long Island.
His job as an aircraft structural mechanic has allowed him to continue living on Long Island. Christopher Hankey Jr. is trying to do the same thing. The 27-year-old junior buyer is still living at home, but he's saving money to move out soon.
A lot of friends, they're living on the bare minimum, basically just have enough to survive because they are living by themselves, paying rent in the city, which is just as expensive as living here.
When I was about 7 years old, I remember seeing the old planes, the turboprops flying, and I said to myself that this is what I would love to do in my life.
Samuel Rodriguez has been with GSE for 27 years. The workplace vet stresses the importance of teaching youngsters like Brian and Christopher.
I may not be able to pick up a drill, but I can sure still teach.
And that's important.
Absolutely, I think it's very important.
Dan Shybunko agrees.
Well, I'm only 83. I don't have the words retirement in my vocabulary, so I'm going to stay with it as long as I'm around, because I love it.
He loves that, and the fact that parts made here on Long Island are flying on the world's greatest planes. In Hauppauge, Jody Goldberg, Fox 5 News.